Hello guys, so today we are going to discuss MYP Maths Criteria B. So this is going to be the part 1 video. So in this particular video, I'm going to discuss about the different type of sequences which is being asked in the MYP assessments, and also I'll be telling you how you can find the general rule of all of these sequences. So this is going to be the part 1 video, and then in the next video, which will be the part 2 video of Criteria B. So in that, I am going to tell you how you can write the sequences in words, like how you can write the pattern in words, how we're going to test the general rule, how we verify the general rule, and how we justify the general rule. Because you need to understand that if you know just these things for criteria B, so even if you are, let's say, a very weak student in maths, so criteria B consists of 33 marks. So it basically comes from 32 to 33 marks. So 33 marks alone can make you pass the exam, MYP Maths eAssessment, whether you are a standard maths or extended maths student. That does not matter. So criteria B holds the highest weightage. So even if you're not good in maths, so the points which we are going to discuss in this video, if you just follow those points properly, I can guarantee you that you can easily score this 33 out of 33 marks in criteria B, and you can easily pass your MYP Maths examination. So whatever we are going to discuss, be serious guys in this video, and let's watch this video to till the end to understand how exactly we tackle different type of sequences which is being asked in criteria B of MYP Maths e-assessment. So again guys, if even if you are a weak, even if you are a very brilliant guy, this video is going to be extremely helpful for you, for all of you, because this is no bullshit video. I'm not going to talk any bullshit in this particular video. I'm just going to talk to the point, and I'm going to tell you the points which is going to help you in scoring 33 marks out of 100 in your MYP Maths e-state assessments, guys. So there are a hell lot of resources available on internet, but you will never find any video or any resource which clearly explain what needs to be done in criteria B, how you identify the sequences. You can figure out like the sequences, but there is no enough resources available which clearly tells you how to test your general rule, how to verify your general rule, or how to justify your general rule. So because of these things, the student lose a lot of marks and they don't gain confidence in criteria B. And another problem with criteria B is that in most of the schools, I know the students whom I teach, so basically they have no idea about criteria B because they are not being taught this particular criteria in school properly. I don't know why, because this is the most scoring criteria and it requires very less time for all of you to prepare well. So before I explain you guys, I will just introduce you myself. So my name is Ankit. I am a IB, MYP and IBDP maths tutor. So I have been teaching IB and IB, MYP and IBDP maths for the past like 13-14 years now. So I have a good experience in understanding the IB mindset, with what mindset the examiner sets the paper, and how you should approach the paper in a smartest possible way, because that is very important for all of you to understand. Hard work is not going to help you guys in IB examination. It's always the smart approach which can save you. So in this video, I'll be telling you how smartly you can tackle criteria B, and you can easily get 33 or 30 to 33 marks out of 100 easily in your MYP Maths e-assessments. So if you have any doubts, guys, you can message me on my Instagram. My Instagram is at the rate of your IB tutor. You can find the link about my Instagram in the description below. Or you can also like connect with me on my email. My email is ankit at the rate of ib-igcscmentor.com, and my website is www.ib-igcscmentor.com. I will mention all of these details in the description, so you can access past papers completely free of cost, guys. I have made it completely free of cost because I know students struggle a lot in researching, finding all the IB resources. So I have made it completely free for all of you. So you can find all the past papers of maths, physics in my on my website. So you can also get my mobile number. You can connect with me on WhatsApp also if you need any help in your MYP Maths e-assessments. So let's get started, guys. So in criteria B, so generally the examiner asks sequences, and the sequences which we have to study is basically of three types. So one is arithmetic, then we have geometric, and the next one we have is quadratic sequences. So today I'm going to only tell you how you can find the general rule of these sequences easily. So let's understand a little bit about arithmetic sequences. So arithmetic sequences are the sequences in which we add or subtract the same number to get the consecutive term. For example, let's say we have 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, and so on. So this is a arithmetic sequence. Why it is arithmetic sequence? Because you can clearly see that we are getting the consecutive terms by adding a constant number which is plus 4 over here. So the general rule of arithmetic sequence is given by the formula an equal to a plus bracket n minus 1 times d, where a is the first term, guys. A is the first term of the sequence and d is the common difference. So d is the common difference. So now d is always found out doing by using the formula t2 minus t1. So t2 minus t1, when I say, so for this particular sequence, d is going to be 6 minus 2, which is going to be 4. And a is the first term in this, which is 2. So we can directly use an equal to 2 plus n minus 1 times 4, and we will just simplify it. So 2 plus 4n minus 4. So the general rule for this would be an equal to 4n minus 2. So this is the general rule of this particular sequence. So the point which you need to note here in this particular sequence is that, guys, that the common difference formula is always t2 minus t1, because what I have done students doing is that they like get confused in that and they subtract 2 minus 6. So when you do 2 minus 6, you will get the answer as common difference as -4, and the whole sequence of the formula will get hampered because of that, and you will lose marks. So the common difference is always given by the formula t2 minus t1. So now let's say we have another sequence which is -2, -5, -8, -11, and so on. So here you need to understand the common difference is the first term is -2 and common difference is t2 minus t1. So it will be -5, negative of -2. So I'm doing t2 minus t1, guys. So -5 plus 3, which is equal to -2. So the common difference here is -2, guys, not 2. If you do t1 minus t2 by mistake, you're going to get your answer as 2. And if you use 2 in the general rule formula, your general rule is gone and you will lose the complete marks of the sequence, because the whole criteria B depends on the general rule, guys. Please understand, if your general rule is wrong, that means you're not going to get even single mark. Your whole 33 marks is gone completely. Don't forget about even single mark, because if your general rule is wrong, you won't be able to test, you won't be able to verify, you won't be able to justify the general rule. So you don't expect any marks. So that's why writing general rule is extremely important, guys. So always remember that the common difference formula is t2 minus t1. It does not change, guys. Please remember this thing. So the next sequence we have to study is the geometric sequence. So geometric sequence example is, let's say, 2, 8, 32, 128, and so on. Here you can clearly see that the consecutive terms I'm getting by multiplying it by 4. So when you multiply by a same number or divide by a same number to get the consecutive terms, that type of sequence is called as geometric sequence. And the general rule of geometric sequence is given by the formula n equal to a r raised to the power of n minus 1, where r is called as the common ratio and a is the first term, guys. So when I say common ratio, so just like the common difference formula was t2 minus t1, common ratio formula is t2 upon t1, guys. Always remember that. Never do t1 upon t2. If you do t1 upon t2, your marks are gone. And this is the general rule formula of the geometric sequence. So for this particular sequence, a is 2 and r is 8 by 2, which is t2 by t1, which is 4. So I'll just substitute the values. So n will be equal to 2, 4 raised to the power of n minus 1. To simplify it a little bit, I can use the exponent properties here. So I can write it as 2 square raised to the power of n minus 1. And hence I can write it as 2 into 2 raised to the power of 2n minus 2. And I can write it as 2 into 2n minus 2 upon 2 square. Because if it's negative, then I can basically, I'm using exponent law properties. If you have any doubts in that, you can let me know on my Instagram, guys. I'll try to clear it off for all of you. So 1 2 can get cancelled, and hence the final formula I'm getting here is 2 raised to the power of 2n minus 1. So general rule for this is, in the most simplified form, is 2n minus 1 for this particular sequence. Now let's take another sequence, which is let's say it's 8, 4, 2, 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 4, and so on. So here you can see that I'm getting divided by 2 to get the consecutive term. That means this is also a geometric sequence. So R would be T2 by T1, guys. Don't do T1 upon T2. So T2 by T1 is 4 upon 8, which is 1 by 2. And the first term here is 8. So I'm going to use the general rule formula, A equal to AR raised to the power of n minus 1, which is equal to 8, 1 by 2 raised to the power of n minus 1. So I know this is going to be a little bit complicated for a lot of guys, because that's what I have seen, that's what I have experienced, because MYP guys are very bad in like exponents. I don't know why, because I think they have not been taught it properly. But you can, even if let's say you're bad in exponent, guys, you can still leave the general rule here itself. Don't simplify it, because if you try to simplify it, I'm pretty sure that you will make some mistake and you're bound to lose some marks. So this is the general rule of this particular sequence. So the last one is quadratic sequences, guys. So in quadratic sequences, you need to understand the second difference is going to be same. So when I say second difference, let's understand it with an example. So let's say my sequence is 2, 8, 18, 32, and 50. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to write the terms like this: 2, 8, 18, 32, 50. So first I will find the first common difference. So first common difference is again T2 minus T1, 6. 18 minus 8 is 12. 32 minus 18 is, sorry, 18 minus 8 is 10, guys. 32 minus 18 is 14. 50 minus 32 is 18. And D2 would be 4, 10 minus 6. Again, I'm doing T2 minus T1, guys. Always remember the second term comes first. 4, 18 minus 14 is 4. See, this is my second common difference, guys. So please understand, guys, if the second common difference is same, then only we call the sequence as quadratic sequence. Here you can clearly see that the second difference is same. That means we are talking about quadratic sequences. So now the shortcut to figure out the general rule of quadratic sequences, the general rule is given by the formula an equal to an square plus bn plus c, but we have to figure out the values of this a, b, and c. So we need this a, we need this b, and we need this c. So to figure out the value of a, b, c, what you have to do is that in front of the second common difference, write 2a. In front of the first common difference, write 3a plus b. And in front of the sequence, write a plus b plus c. And we will start from the bottom. And always remember that we are going to equate this to the first term, this to the first term, and this to the first term. So we'll start from the bottom, guys. So if you start from the bottom, 2a would be equal to 4, and hence a is going to be 4 over 2, which is equal to 2. So I got a value as 2. Now I'm going to equate this 3a plus b to the first common difference 6, which is 3a plus b equal to 6, and I'm going to substitute this a value here. So 3 times 2 plus b equal to 6. So if you solve this, you will get b as 0. Now my third equation is a plus b plus c equal to 2. So a plus b plus c equal to 2. I will substitute the a and b value. So I will substitute the a value as 2, b value as 0, plus c equal to 2. So from here I'll get c as 0. So I got b value as 0, c value as 0, and a value as 2. So I will just substitute it here. So the general rule for this particular sequence would be 2n square plus 0 plus 0. That means I'm getting an equal to 2n square as the general rule of this particular sequence, guys. So this is how we figure out the general rule of a quadratic sequence. So always remember, guys, this is the most shortcut possible way to figure out the general rule of a quadratic sequence, and this is the easiest way to find the general rule of a quadratic sequence. If you can't figure out the general rule using this method, then no method is going to be helpful for all of you, because all other methods are extremely tough and takes a lot of time. So this is how we figure out the general rule of quadratic sequence. Now the next and the last part is that what IB does is sometimes they give mixed sequences. When I say mixed sequences, so what they do is they will give you 1 by 2, 3 by 4, 5 by 8, 7 by 16, and so on. And they ask you to figure out the general rule of this particular sequence. So here you can see the numerator. So numerator is a arithmetic sequence. If I talk about the numerator, so numerator is a arithmetic sequence, which is 1, 3, 5, 7. And if you see the denominator, so denominator is a geometric sequence, which is 2, 4, 8, 16. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to figure out the general rule of numerator and denominator separately, and I'm going to put it in the fraction form. So for numerator, a value is 1, d value is t2 minus t1, which is 2. Since it's arithmetic sequence, so I can say that n would be equal to 1 plus n minus 1 times 2, which is 1 plus 2n minus 2, which is 2n minus 1. So that's the general rule of the numerator. So this is the general rule of the numerator. And if we have to figure out the general rule of the denominator, so we have to use the geometric sequence formula, which is an equals to a r raised to the power of n minus 1. So a here is 2 and r is 4 by 2, which is 2 raised to the power of n minus 1. So if you simplify it, you're going to get 2 raised to the power of n. So the general rule of this particular sequence is going to be 2n minus 1 upon 2 raised to the power of n. So please understand, guys, IB also does this particular thing, that they mix two sequences. So they give you the sequence in fraction. So the numerator can be a arithmetic sequence or a geometric sequence or a quadratic sequence, and denominator can again be arithmetic sequence, geometric sequence, or quadratic sequence. So you have to play smart there, guys. You have to figure out the general rule separately and put it in the fraction form. So I think that's enough, guys. That's all about the general rules. So in the next video, we are going to discuss about the how you basically write the pattern in words, how you test the general rule, how you verify the general rule, and how you most importantly justify a general rule. So we're going to discuss that in the part B of criteria B, guys. So this is the only video you need to score 33 out of 33 in your MYP Maths criteria B, guys, e-assessments. So guys, do, if you understood my concepts, do give us a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to my channel, and most importantly share this video with your friends, guys, who need help in their IB MYP math examination to pass. And you can connect with me on my Instagram on @ your IB tutor. And if you have any doubts, you can send me your questions on my Instagram. And also you can connect with me on my WhatsApp. You can figure out my WhatsApp on my website. You can check the all the links in the description below. And let's get started, guys, because we have hardly 2 weeks left in our less than 2 weeks left in our MYP IB MYP Maths assessment. So if you follow these videos, guys, I can guarantee you get that you can easily get like 70-80% marks, even if you're an average student. That's my promise, guys. That's my promise. That's the promise of Ankit, your IB tutor. Subscribe to my channel, guys.